Okay. Now what is remaining? What is remaining is like now using this transformation as part of the message flow. Okay. And then we also need to bound, because we need to this X query, this that value need to be passed, to this variable, right? So those two things are remaining. Okay. So that's what we need to do next. So step one is done. So what we can do next is uh, that can be done even here. Okay. Message processing. This is called replace, right? So replace is an action that is used uh, when you have to change the value or the contents of a particular XML element. Okay. Anytime you want to manipulate the values of any XML element, you will use the replace action. See, technically, just want to switch to the blackboard ones. Let's say if we think of a simple book, name, uh, title, okay, name, title, author, and then book. Uh, Now, this is how we see the structure in the XML document. But in runtime, the XML is represented as a tree, right? In memory, it is represented as a tree, right? On a tree, each and every element is just a node, right? So so book is like one node. This is the book node. Then you have the name node, right? And then you have the author node, and then you have the title node. Okay, name can have two more nodes, maybe, like first name and last name. Okay, so kind of under this is the runtime representation of this XML XML segment, a fragment, right? So now when we are saying replace action, if you want to, let's say, replace the manipulate the contents of the name node, right? So you can use replace action, to manipulate any one of these nodes. Okay. So technically, let's say if we are replacing the entire contents of the book, okay, the name, title, and author, right? Then you are primarily working with the book node, which will replace, like, since these are all the child nodes of the book. Okay. So now let's say if you want to just replace all the contents of the name node, then you are up let's say like the first name and the last name. Then yeah, then you will be working with the name node. So if yeah, now in our message, we have see here in replace action, you have like various options here. One is see, this is if you understand this one replace action, this is what is used primarily for transformation. Okay. And but it is also a little more confusing, these options and stuff. Okay. Now the very invariable, right? The is whichever variable that we are manipulating, you need to provide the name of that variable here. Okay, that variable here, and then see, it says like replace entire node, replace node contents. You have two options here. Okay, so if we go back to the uh, drawing board for a second, now we looked at multiple nodes here, right? uh, okay, now let's say this is the book node, this is the book node. Now uh, and let's say body variable, this is the original payload that was sent out, right? So the payload is always represented by the body variable. Okay, body variable will contain the payload that was sent, and like I said, any payload, any message is represented in the SOAP format, right? So what would the body variable will have? It will have SOAP body, and then within that it will have this whole book element, right? It will have the book element, the name, title, and all those, and then the SOAP body will end here. Okay, so now when you think of when you think of the runtime representation of this, so this root node, the body is referring to, this is the SOAP body. Okay, and then within that you have book, and within that you have various elements. Okay, various elements. So now if you now when you have to uh, basing on what you have to replace, and basing on what you are transforming, here there are like multiple things that come into play. Okay, say for example, uh, the name of the variable is let's say body, we are giving. Because in the initial request that was sent in, that is in the body variable. So body variable, here I am giving. Now this XPath, by default, body is pointing to the outermost node, right? Whichever node it is pointing to. Uh, if 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 I have to change the default, then I need to give an XPath here. See, okay, in the example that we are using, if I have to, let's say, change the contents of the first name or something, right? So here essentially I will be giving like dollar body, and then book, and and then name, right? Because I want to replace the contents of the name element, right? Then I would give XPath. But let's say if I want to replace the content of the the entire book element, then I would leave it as it is, because by default, when by default it is pointed to the outer element anyways. Now this expression is uh, the results. The result of this expression is what I want to replace the contents of the variable with. Okay, so this expression is nothing but the outcome of the transformation. This expression is nothing but the outcome of the transformation. Okay, so here now Kamal, to your point, if you have to use XPath, you need not have created that X query, and directly you could have given your expression here. But since we have an X query, you go here and then to the message flow, and you select your transformation. See, and then remember in that we had one variable to which we had to pass that value, right? From that we had from the service callout. Okay, so you need to what was that? Customer service response, right? Because it's the response that has the value, right? Okay, so the response that we received from the original callout, you can you create the variable for that, and that's the value that we are binding to that xQuery variable. Okay, and